Hi everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today is a very special episode. So I'm going to take it to the new gym I just joined. And the main reason I joined this gym instead of GymLab, I absolutely loved training at GymLab. It was the perfect setup for the style of training that I like. The main reason is a castle, the ocean in the background. I can walk and it only takes me 7-8 minutes to get there by foot, where the GymLab was 15 minutes by car. Not the biggest journey in the world for sure, but when you live in Ibiza in the summer, 15 minutes turns into 20-25 minutes along that road to the airport at peak season. So now I can literally just pop out of the apartment back there, right back there in the morning, and I can walk to the gym 7-8 minutes. It's literally the dream setup. Now, this place hasn't got everything exactly the way I want it, but it is an absolutely incredible training facility, easily one of the best gyms I've ever been in. It's not a bodybuilding gym, it's not a CrossFit or athletic training gym like the last one I was at. It's a wellness center, so it's got unbelievable facilities, but it hasn't got gymnastic rings, rope climbing, a few of the things that I love to train with, but it's unbelievable. I'm goal to get in the best shape of my life this year. I'm going to show you my exact workouts, how I'm going to go about achieving that. And if you want to follow my workouts for the next 4 months until my birthday to achieve that, you can do the exact same ones, the exact same exercises. And back in the day, I used to share all my workouts on Instagram, but I haven't done that in a while because, my workouts are pretty repetitive and boring. But I haven't shared them on Instagram in a long time. So if you have any suggestions, whether you want them in carousels, reels, etc., I'm probably going to be sharing a lot more of them on my Instagram the next few weeks. Maybe even just stories, but let me know what you think and let me show you around this unbelievable gym. Okay, so while I'm obviously very privileged to be training in a gym and a facility like this that's absolutely epic, it's still not my favorite kind of gym to train in. It hasn't got the equipment set up exactly the way I want. So I'm gonna go through to my exact program, what I will be doing, what I might be doing, the reason certain exercises are on the program or how I'm going to manipulate them, and it's going to give you plenty of ideas and rationale behind my training that you can apply to your own training, whether you're playing Gaelic football or whether you just enjoy training more like an athlete than a bodybuilder. Now I am doing push-pull legs up a body volume. It's my favorite way to train. It's the way I train the most often, but it's definitely a bodybuilding gymnastics hybrid. If I was just simply trying to look as good as possible, nothing wrong with that goal. I had that plenty of times myself in the past. I would be doing things slightly different on every day. So the best shape of my life 2026, I've set this goal for over a decade every single year now, and sometimes I fail, sometimes I've succeeded, and sometimes I've moved around the definition to be slightly more athletic, to run further, have flexibility or strength or gymnastics goals mixed in, rather than the best shape of my life simply meaning leaner and more muscle than you've ever had before. So day number 1 is push, and my favorite way to start push would definitely be doing the parallettes. So the L sit into the handstand push-up or the L sit into the shoulder stand. It's yet to be seen whether I'll have access to the parallettes. I'm going to ask them to buy some parallettes, but if I can't do that, I'm going to do something like clap push-ups. And then that will move us in to your 3 compound movements. So when you're doing a push, the absolute max 3 compound movements is plenty, and then some accessory lifts after. So the 3 compound movements on the push day, the first one looks like for most of the time over the next 16 weeks going to be machine press, followed by a low incline dumbbell press, followed by ring dips outside, or the chest dip machine in the gym. Now the chest dip machine in the gym, I don't really like it. I don't like training that way, but it is a decent machine, so it might fill a role. It's filled a role for the last couple of months anyway. The machine press in that gym feels absolutely epic. The squeeze on the chest is super, so I would love to start my sessions like that. And then the low incline DB press, that's going to be my main compound. Now that is after the machine press or the ring dips that I'm going to put first. So you might be thinking, if it's my main compound, why am I putting it second? Well, I followed John Meadows' mountain dog training for a year before, and he was always against doing your heavy press first. He would like plenty of blood flow into the chest before doing a heavy barbell or heavy dumbbell press. So I found that to be extremely useful. At this stage, benching as heavy weight as possible is definitely not my goal. Benching heavy for sure, but just trying to climb up the bench for the sake of it is not my goal. I would rather keep my shoulders very, very healthy. So I'm going to be doing a machine press or ring dips before starting into the low incline dumbbell press. Low incline dumbbell press, I'd say I'll build up to 40s to 45. The heaviest I ever did on these was 45 a couple of years ago. And then either ring dips or that chest press machine to finish. Then after that, I'd like to do a giant set. Now in a gym like this, it might not be possible to do them all 5 together, so you might do 2 together and 3 together or something like that. But the gym I used to train at last year, I used to do 5 together. My own gym back in Ireland where I'm completely spoiled, I used to do the 5 of them together as well. So it's rope push downs, face pulls, banded shoulder rotations, front raises with either a plate front raises, or with the bar like I'm doing them here in the video, and lat raises. And usually most of the time when I'm doing this over the last 5-6 years, I'll only do 2 sets. I'll do 1 set to get blood flowing, and then I'll do 1 set to complete failure where I can't get any more reps. Get an amazing pump in my chest, shoulders and triceps, and just finish the push day feeling really good. Mobility and athleticism feeling really good after a chest day, and not just looking good for the photographs. The second day of the week will be a pull day. So my favorite way to start pull day in an athletic way would be doing rope climbing. I'm a massive fan of rope climbing, but they haven't got a rope unfortunately at 7. So I'm probably gonna start off, I'm thinking, with a back lever. So a back lever that will get plenty of blood flow into the back. Super core exercise as well, but you're not really doing it for core or ab work, but it does work the abs really hard. Then I'd start my workouts. So the back lever or the rope climb would be considered like a warm-up or a skills move. Then I'd start the main session. So the main session would be cable rows, single arm or double arm, but I'd like to do a lot more single arm rowing this year. I did a lot of single arm pull downs last year, so single arm rowing this year with a cable. An amazing exercise for really isolating your lat and making your lat work super hard. Then after that, the main compound of the day, when I'm doing heavy RDLs or heavy deadlifts of any kind, I like to have plenty of blood flow, plenty of warm up before starting. John Meadows, again, a huge advocate of this. So my lats being pumped up, it's not going to affect how heavy I can go on the RDLs. The chest press on day 1 a little bit more, but the cable row, the lats being a little bit pre-fatigued, does not affect how heavy you can go on the RDLs. And with the RDLs and the squats this year, I have it in my mindset to be far more mindful of the technique and slowing things down. Slowing down the eccentrics, maybe taking pauses, maybe focusing on the stretches rather than purely going after weight like I did in the past. Even though it was good technique and good range of motion, I'd like to slow things down and try and hit the muscles a little bit harder this year. So the most I got up to RDLs in the last couple of years was 150 kg, and I think I'll be able to get back up to 140, 150 this year if all goes to plan. Then after the RDLs, I'll be moving on to sub-scap pull-ups. Absolutely amazing movement. It's a gymnastics movement. Works your back and your core really hard. So I'll be doing 4 or 5 sets of 6 there. And the first time you do this movement, your back will be in ribbons. After the sub-scap pull-up, I'm going to do some ice cream makers with the gymnastics move again. It's like a body weight pullover, like a pullover you do with a dumbbell. Really good for shoulder mobility and posture to really finish off my back muscles. Then I want to do extra rear delt work this year. So I'm going to be doing rear delts on 3 different days of the weeks. Now there's 3 different exercises and it's just 1 exercise per rear delts each day. So instead of doing the 3 of them on one day, I'm going to be spacing them out across 3 upper body days. But on this second day, I'm going to do band pull aparts, this time lying on the ground before moving on to the biceps. So the biceps, I'm a big fan of just doing 1 set to warm up, get the blood flowing, get used to the technique, and then 1 really hard set to failure. I'm going to be doing barbell curls, which I have never actually done before. Lifting weight 16 years and I've never actually had barbell curls as one of my main bicep exercises. So I'm going to try that this year just simply to change things up, and then finish off with some incline curls with a big stretch, low incline hammer curls. So I'm getting both grips, the open hand supinated and the neutral hammer. So with push and pull taken care of, this moved me on to leg day. Leg day is super simple in terms of layout, but obviously leg day is super challenging. I never shut up about legs, especially squats, the harder exercises. This is what gives me the most joy, the most positivity in training myself and my clients, is just really developing really strong legs because of how much it accelerates your athleticism in all ways. So I'd start the leg day with some plyometrics, so either tuck jumps, box jumps or broad jumps, before moving on to the main first superset. And the main first superset will be a standing leg curl before building up to a top set of squats. I've never actually used the standing leg curl before because I've never had access to it. I've always used a seated leg curl, a lying leg curl, or Nordics. But this gym has a standing leg curl, so I'm going to avail of it and work it really, really hard. And with the squats, I'll probably go 60, 80, 100, up to a top set of either 110, 120. Maybe if training goes really, really well, 130. But I haven't gotten heavier than 130 now in 2 years. And even when I did hit 140 that time, it was only for a couple of reps. My top sets last year and the year before have been around 120, 130. But my thought pattern this year with squats is to focus on slower eccentrics like I was mentioning with the RDLs and pauses, just to really get that range of motion and really open up the hips, because I'd like to really develop my side splits and my front splits as much as I'd like to squat heavy. And I've done the squats heavy before, but I've never really fully developed my potential with the splits. Once you have squats taken care of, I'm doing split squats or lunges, either Bulgarian split squats with an extra range of motion, so slightly less weight, but the bigger range of motion, and lunges, either walking lunges, which I absolutely love, very dynamic, very athletic movement, and deficit reverse lunges. And then for the glutes, hamstrings, lower back, I would do a 45-degree back extension or single leg good mornings. I'm thinking to do far more single leg good mornings at that stage of the workout than anything else, because they're so good for hamstring flexibility. And if I am to achieve my full splits this year, the hamstring flexibility is crucial, and that's a good way of killing two birds with the one stone. Then finish off with some body weight or very light Cossack squats. Very light, very deep Cossack squats, super challenging. I've been doing them the last few weeks. And with squat calf raises, just focusing on that depth again. So really focusing on hip mobility rather than just weight, even though obviously I'll want a progressive overload and the weight will be important. And then the final session of the 4, my favorite session of the week. If I had it all my way, I would be starting off with a rings flow like I have the last couple of years. The setup at GymLab for doing the rings flow was absolutely incredible. I used to love it, but I don't think I'm going to have that opportunity this year. Maybe if I set the rings up myself, but let's see how much time that takes. So the rings flow to start, and the main superset of the whole session after that then is going to be slightly changed. They don't have dips this year, but I'll be asking them to get a dip station for the racks outside, and I'm sure it won't be a problem. It's a very small request, but even if they do get the dip station, I think I'm going to stick with military press, because the handstand and the handstand push-up is such a high priority goal. I've never fully prioritized it before, and it's probably why I've been so slow to actually go and achieve it, or go and achieve it in a neat enough or tidy enough way. So the military press supersetted with weighted ring chin-ups. So the ring chin-ups nice and easy on the orange handles. If the rings can be set up nice, I can use them too, but I'm guaranteed, because I have those orange handles, to be able to use that at the very least. And my military press is pretty poor. I've never prioritized military press before. It's always been dips, it's always been other movements, sometimes a barbell press, but never military press with a bar. I've done it even with shoulder press. So I'm looking forward to seeing where I can take that. If I could get maybe 60 kg for reps, I'd be absolutely delighted at my body weight. And then after that, on the upper body volume day, we move on to a load of different isometric holds that are super challenging, but I've loved learning them the last couple of years. The German hang, the back lever, the top support, and the tuck planche. Now this will depend on how easy it is to set these things up in the new setup, but I have a set of rings and I have the orange handles, so they should all be helpful. And that outdoor, more functional area should be able to set it up without being in too many other people's way. So you'd be very surprised if you did nothing else in the gym and you just did those 4 exercises, how challenging that is and how much of a pump you get. Your arms and your upper body will get a lot stronger just from holding those 4 isometric positions. For the back, the biceps, the triceps, the shoulders, the flexibility, they work everything really hard. That's why, fellas, the day before a Gaelic football match or training, to do nothing is criminal. There's so many different things you could do, like some isometrics, like some arms isolation work or shoulder isolation work, like loads of pull-ups, push-ups and dips. But doing nothing is never a productive thing, especially when you can recover so easily from upper body work. And then to finish the upper body volume day, just an incline bicep curl, and dumbbell extensions. I put these on a lot of the Gaelic footballers I trained programs. They're excellent finishers for the arms on an upper body day. And then I'm going to be doing power raise. I have done power raise as a top priority exercise, but it's probably been 6 or 7 years since I did it, back before COVID, which is crazy to think how fast that time has went. So I'll be working really hard on the power raise, the band pull aparts, and the face pulls on 3 different days, because I want my rear delts to pop a lot more, to give my upper body that more cartoon wider look. So as I mentioned briefly already, on my 3 rest days, I'll be working hard on my handstand, my front splits, and my side splits. So many stretches I'll be doing, but mainly the horse stance, the long lunge, and then just some handstand, basic handstand holds. And that will be active rest for me. I hate doing nothing. I don't concentrate as well, I don't sleep as well, I don't digest as well. I'm just not meant to not exercise. But I have to find a way to exercise in a way that's going to complement this stuff rather than compete with it. Remember, I used to train weights 7 days a week, and my results got way better when I cut it down to 5. And then when I cut from 5 down to 4, they got better again. I want to keep training 7 days a week, but in a way that complements these heavier, harder sets and these heavier, harder sessions. So working hard on the flexibility on the 3 rest days. No cardio as of yet. I haven't done cardio to get lean in the last few years, but I would naturally increase my steps, just consciously increase my steps. So we're now 16 weeks out from best shape of my life. Like the love of your life, but even more important, the best shape of your life is going to have a bigger impact, and it's going to be more satisfying as well. So I'll be checking back in with my own training to tell you how it's going, what exact weights I'm lifting, and how I'm looking in the next 16 weeks across this gymnastics/bodybuilding prep. If you have any questions, or if anything has interested you about all of this, I'm going to be documenting it on Instagram as well. So send me some questions if you have them, and I might even make a full video on any of your questions about the training. But I hope this has helped you to understand what a gymnastics/bodybuilding hybrid program might look like, or a program for longevity and for health long term. Let's go.